guys, welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to show you how to create a multi-branch pipeline job in Jenkins. Let's jump on the terminal, then after we'll do a little testing. So to create a multi-branch pipeline job in Jenkins, you just have to go to new item. I can decide, for example, to create that in the prod folder. So I will go on the new item. Then I can call it multi-branch, can give it any name. Come here and select this one here, multi-branch. Go ahead and click here, then open. So you can give the name. I can put the same name, just like this is just like a display name. You can give any name, maybe a project name. Let's say, for example, the project name is called Canary. So you can go ahead and put Canary here, the description here. Now, the next thing that you will have to do is to enter the source. That is where it's going to tell Jenkins where to go get the code. It's going to be either Git, GitHub, depending on the plugin that you install. So now here, we are going to take the Git. So we're going to take Git as the source code management that we want to take. Then here, we have to put the project URL here. If you don't know what it is, you can click here, it will tell you, you put the project URL here. So let's go choose this project, for example. And one thing that you have to make sure that project must have a Jenkins file, right? There should be a Jenkins file in that project. That project must have something called a Jenkins file that we are going to see in the later video, but that project must have a Jenkins file first. So let's go in there and go ahead and take this. We are going to clone HTTPS because we cannot clone SSH because Jenkins doesn't have our key yet. So we go ahead and clone HTTPS. We supply this to Jenkins. We don't need to add any credential because this is a public repository. So as you guys can see here, the repository is public. So we don't need to supply any credential to Jenkins. But if the repository is private, which is going to be the object of the feature video, the project is private, we have to supply the credential to Jenkins. Here's the behavior. We are going to leave this for now. We will come back to this later on. Project property, all branch get the same property, so we're going to keep this as well for later on. So we're going to come back here and mode by Jenkins file, right? So by Jenkins file. So and we have to specify the path where the Jenkins file is. This Jenkins file here is the one matching this Jenkins file here. As you guys can see, it has to be it has to match. It starts with capital J. As you guys can see here, this one comes by default and it starts with capital J. If your Jenkins file name is different, you just have to put the name here and give him the correct location, because sometimes Jenkins files are not located in the root of the GitHub. The root of the GitHub project maybe somewhere else, so you have to give Jenkins a specific location. Now, scan how you want this to run. Like you have to specify when Jenkins will be checking, right? Like when you have to specify when Jenkins will be checking here. So you can say 1 day. So let's just say we give him 1 minute. So Jenkins will be checking the source code every single minute to see if there's a new branch. And if there's a new branch, Jenkins will go ahead and start working on that branch. Here, these are just like a discard or view. This will be the object of a different video. So let's just create this project as simple as it is. As you can see right now, that was created. If you come here, now, if we can either maybe let's say it's going to take a minute because we gave you 1 minute for Jenkins to go ahead and scan the code, but we can manually scan it here if we want. So we have launched a scan. As you guys can see here, so far we have only one branch in this project. This project has only one branch, and Jenkins will be able to detect that branch. As you guys can see, I refresh here. Jenkins has detected the branch here. So what is the purpose of the multi-branch pipeline? Before we move on, I will grab my big pen here and I'm going to do some little explanation into how this works. So usually what is happening is that we have our Jenkins server here. This is a Jenkins server. Usually we have GitHub here. can be GitHub, can be GitLab, can be Bitbucket. So each time that there's a branch here, like usually Jenkins will be focusing on one branch. And usually this is a different branch. It can be like main branch. Right, regular pipeline job, you are going to supply only one branch in Jenkins. Like if I come down here and take a regular pipeline job, for example, on this folder, this is a regular pipeline job. If I click here, you will see that Jenkins can only accept one branch, right? This regular pipeline job, one branch, not this one. There's one that I know is somewhere. Not this one. Let's search for it. Might be under DevOps. Yes, this regular pipeline job, for example, if we go to configure, as you guys can see, that this one had one somewhere, probably on QA. Not yet, so let's create a regular pipeline job. Here, probably, if I go here on new item, I'll just get this job here as a test. If I create a pipeline job, what's going to happen is that if I come down here and change this source to Git, I'll take source code Git, I'll be able to have only one thing that I'm going to show you guys right now to make the difference. So I'm giving him, I will change this one here to develop. As you guys can see here, in this job, I can only supply one branch. This job can only work on one branch, which is the develop branch. It cannot take more than one branch. So in this job, Jenkins will be looking at only one branch. So in that configuration, our Jenkins will be looking at only one branch, and any change in Jenkins will be able to build only change on the main branch, right? Like for example, the brand that we are using right now is develop, so Jenkins will be able to look only on develop. Now, on the multi-branch pipeline, this is our Jenkins server here. And every single branch that get created, Jenkins will detect that branch and build it. Let's say there's a branch called A that get created here. Jenkins will detect that branch A and build it. Another branch B that created, Jenkins will detect B and build it. Another branch called C get created. Jenkins will detect C and build it. Another branch called D created. Jenkins will detect D and build it. So every single branch that will be created, Jenkins will detect it and build it. So that's a multi-branch pipeline. That's what the name says multi, because it's capable of building multiple branches at the same time. But the regular pipeline job can only build one, can only work with one branch, but the multi-branch pipeline will be able to work with multiple pipelines. Sorry, with multiple branch. So if we go back to the project that we had, which is this one, Canary. Now, so far here, we have only one branch. So if I go on GitHub and create two more branch, for example, so I can come here, let's create a branch called feature 01. We create a branch called feature 01. So I'll go ahead and create a branch called feature 01. If I go on branches, you will see that I have two branches right now, right? My default branch is develop. I have a feature 01 branch. I can create another branch called probably, let's call it testbed. So I've created another branch called testbed. So now I have three branches: develop, testbed, and feature branch. So let's give Jenkins some time. Normally it's going to take, so Jenkins has already detected the feature 01 branch, and Jenkins is going to build that branch. As you guys can see here, Jenkins detected that feature 01 branch and was able to build it. So Jenkins is checking the repository like every single minute. So it's going to take a minute for Jenkins to detect the other one. Like Jenkins will check the repo or every single minute. Like 1 minute we pass, we check, we come back again after 1 minute and check. So it's going to take only a minute here. So it's already detected this one, the test bed branch, and Jenkins is going to definitely build it. So it's now pending. As soon as everything is ready, Jenkins will go ahead and build it. As you guys can see here, that's what it's called multi-branch pipeline, meaning that Jenkins is capable of detecting branch that you create and go ahead and build those. Now, if you create another, let's create a branch A1. Let's create a branch here, and then let's create a branch, for example, B1. And let's create a branch for example, C1. Jenkins will be able to detect all these branches. As you guys see here, we create a branch here in GitHub, and we don't supply any of those branches to Jenkins, and Jenkins will be able to detect those branches. So let's give him a minute. By the time Jenkins go back and check that repository, when 1 minute has passed by, that will be built. So we'll be expecting the A1, B1, and C1 branch a minute from now. As you guys can see, A1, B1, and C branch has been detected, and every single branch here represents a pipeline, right? Jenkins will go ahead and build. Every single branch here represents a pipeline. So that's how at work, Jenkins is capable of building what developers are doing. You can have multiple developers. Usually every single branch is managed by a developer, and as a developer make a change, Jenkins will be able to detect that and do it. So now let's pick a branch. For example, as you guys can see, if I take a branch like the feature 01 branch here, it has only one build, right? Now, if I go on a feature 01 branch, which is this branch here, and make a change, Jenkins will be able to detect that. So let's make a test. So let's go ahead and change something. So I will click here on the feature 01 branch. I will do this on this console. So if I go here, for example, and let's say I go here, for example, and change something, right? Or I add a file. I'm going to add a file, create a new file. I will call that file trigger. I will just put a simple echo on that file. I will commit that on that file. So good. I created that file on feature 01. Now, Jenkins will detect that there was a change on feature 01 branch, and Jenkins will build it again. So Jenkins will, each time there's a commit, right? I just made a commit on the feature 01 branch. Jenkins will detect that change, and Jenkins will build, we launch a second build here. So let's expect that it will happen here a minute from now. Let's give him a minute. So that is how at work you have a development team made of like 10, 15 people, and they are working on every single branch. And as soon as they are pushing something into GitHub, Jenkins is able to detect that. You guys just see that Jenkins was able to detect the change in the feature 01 branch, and Jenkins will go ahead now and build and give the second build here. So it's waiting for the executor. Everything went well. Now, if I go back here, you guys will see that if I take, for example, the test bed, Jenkins only have one build on test bed because there's no commit on test bed. So that's what is called a multi-branch. That's what they call the multi-branch pipeline, multi-branch pipeline jobs. Now, sometime also on the multi-branch pipeline, you can exclude, right? So I will make another video that will show you how to exclude branches on the multi-branch pipeline. I hope this video was helpful for you. I'll see you guys on the next video.